Hello, welcome to Gemstone Tarot weekend reading for the 3rd and 4th of September 2022. Fourth time I've recorded this video. That never happens to me. Valentine joins us. Here she is. Hi Val. See how she and I are so in tune, and she responds to me so beautifully. She's like, whatever. But Valentine joins us, and that is a great thrill. Minnie is asleep in a flower pot in the garden, and Leah's on the sofa because, you know, it's September. So she's like, get the heated blanket out, come on, and let me drop my load on this blanket. She's like, my bottom's been waiting for this girl. And I've just washed it, which makes it absolute prime real estate for Leah's backside. So that's where Leah is. We've got 3 cards on the table. We're going to flick down and have a look at those. It's all going on. We will survive the shadow of Mercury retrograde. Okay, let's have a look at the cards. Do come over and join us on the Gem Stars. We have a very tight community over on the Gem Stars. We just had a vote, and the latest vote was for a pick a card reading, so we're doing one of those. And we do live readings where you can come on and ask for an individual card, and I do that for you. Those are quite good. Doing another one of those soon as well. If you want to join, you can join in the description box, or you may or may not have a join button next to your subscribe button. Let me know. Okay. These weird and wonderful cards, Brian and Wendy Frood, Heart of the Fairy Oracle, is how we're kicking off. I rather like this. We have the Fairy of Naughtiness, the Oh No card, and this one, which is the Remembrance. When you combine these 3, especially when you combine the Oh No card and the Remembrance card, you get a feeling of accidental remembering of something. Now we are steaming in, you know, to the Mercury retrograde on the 10th. I'm feeling it. I never have to make a video 4 times, and I expect you're feeling it. Let me know in the comment section. We are accidentally remembering something we maybe would rather forget in some cases. In other cases, we want to rail against it. We've got the Fairy of Naughtiness here, and this is like Tinkerbell, and a bit like Valentine, you know, when you try and get her in of an evening, where Valentine knows perfectly how to get to just the point underneath a parked car where you are grovelling about in the street, you know, with your knees on gravel and half the street watching you going, come on Val, with a packet, wafting a packet of cat food, and she's literally just dead cash. She's found that sweet spot where nobody can reach her. Okay, it's a cat thing, but it's also a human thing. Some of you thought you'd found a sweet spot where nobody could reach you, and yet somebody can, real or, you know, face to face in the flesh, or telepathically and weirdly, whichever. They're going to reach you anyway. They're coming into your thoughts. It can be a bit like the flavour of that person is around. You're like, what's that smell? A bit like the Bisto gravy advert, you know. You want to kind of follow that thought. It can come, and just as I'm saying this to you, and that is so weird. That is so weird. It can come to you in a dream. It did to me last night. Okay? A friend of mine who passed away, like, I'm trying to think how many years ago, a few years ago, came in a dream. And when we talked, you know those dreams. And you wake up with that feeling, don't you, of somebody and something, and the remembrance. It is literally that. Now, it doesn't have to be something quite as somber as that. It could be an ex-lover. It can be someone you're connected to. It can even be, you know, on a more pedestrian level, a job you had, or a place you played, or a pet, or something like that. But there's an accidental, which is the Oh No card, remembrance. And then this notion of feeling feisty about something, feeling, there's a very childlike quality to this, you know, that whole, you know, I don't know if you saw, God, it was brilliant, when they had the Queen Jubilee celebrations, Prince Louis with Kate. If you haven't seen it, see it, because I just love it, on the balcony. I love it because he has the freedom to express himself, and he's going like that to his mum. He's like, and I love it because she laughs at it. You can see her, even though she's a massive pressure, massive formal occasion, she laughs at it, and it's a moment. It's a moment, you know, it's a human interactive moment. Okay, so I feel like there is a bit of the nose thumbing going on. But I think it's us nose thumbing our own memories of somebody or something that maybe it's difficult to think of, or just human to think of. Sometimes it's both, isn't it? I like me dreaming about my friend. Obviously, it's sad because my friend is no longer here, but also nice to talk to them. Nice to talk, even if it's in a dream. And, you know, it's something that you want, isn't it? But something that makes you feel sad. It's happy and sad at the same time. And as humans, and particularly during Mercury retrograde, and I stand by this, that dualism comes in all things. It comes in a concrete way in that you duplicate things, you find two of something, you turn up somewhere with an old passport instead of the new passport, or you lose something, someone hands it in randomly, you find it, all of those things. But that dualism also applies to the timeline of memory, and also, for me, as this is only just my thoughts about it as well, I think Mercury retrograde messes with some kind of time portals or something. And I don't go into it too much because I don't want to drive myself mad. We live in the 3D world. We live with the clocks that we've got. And I try. I mean, I'm not brilliant at dates and all the clocks break, but I try to live in a framework so that I don't, you know, go nuts. But all the same, hand on heart, Mercury retrograde bends something. So you kind of, people are still with you, but they're not. And people are lost and found. It's just that whole vibe this weekend of that is coming in. You could be looking through old photo albums. You could, you know, your phone might do that really weird, slightly random thing where it throws up, you know, here's my Apple phone does this. It makes a video with slow music, like a montage of somewhere you went. And sometimes it gets it really wrong as well. And it kind of, like if you went on holiday and it's got you and your friend or you and your partner or whatever it is, and then you kind of bought something from a service station, it might throw that person in the mix in a kind of do-do-do-do, and here's Bob that you bought a pasty from on the A40, you know, or whatever. So it's that kind of life throwing you a montage rather than that. I mean, it's probably a false feeling anyway that we are moving in a timeline from 0 to whatever age, you know, we die. We have a feeling of mix-up, of montage, of kaleidoscope, of throw me down a box of photographs and I'll sort through them. All of those feelings are coming in this weekend, okay? Let's have some tarot cards. That's exhausting in itself, isn't it, Val? Hey, you gorgeous lady. Yes, you are. Gorgeous lady. Yes. So silky. Okay. Let's have them. What do we want? I'm going to take, first off, an Enlightenment card from the old Chuck Spezzano deck, because I feel that, and also I must say this weekend, do what you feel like, because it's going to be that kind of vibe. Do what you feel like. You get a weird thing or a hunch, follow it. Oh, nice. People, that is a nice card. I'll take that any day of the week. And that. Good. Okay, Chuck Spezzano cards. We get peace and flow. These go rather nicely together, even though they're not consecutive. So peace is a sense of peace with a slightly chaotic frame of thought. Okay. Finding a sense of peace doesn't necessarily mean finding something nice or liking it all the time. It is a sense of acceptance. And this has been coming up the last 3 days. Do you remember we had the reading a couple of days ago with the Chariot and the light and shade of the Chariot? And we had something about this yesterday as well that I cannot remember at all, but we did. Now we have the gift card of flow. Go with whatever comes up. And as if you were in a boat going downstream really easily, follow the flow. What I wouldn't do is perhaps go against the tide or the current by trying to force the memory away or try and forget it, or even force it into a category where you want to know why. You know, it's not the weekend for that. Definitely the weekend for, you know, if we were back in the 90s, it's the weekend for making a mixtape. You remember those sorts of weekends? You're like, I've got a brand new SA90. Yay, I've gone expensive. Got an SA90. I got someone in mind. I've got me a gold pen and I'm going to do the card special. You know what I'm saying. I'm even going to make it kind of flow one into the other like a DJ. Let me know any stories you've got about making tapes. Was it the 90s? It was definitely the 80s. 90s kind of ran into CD, didn't it? Cripes, how old am I? Right, okay. This weekend is a mixtape. Cool. Now am I doing reversals? Do you know what? It's both. So I'm going to put them upright, but we're doing both at the same time. Because that is the energy. They're neither upright nor reverse. They are literally both, which is what all tarot cards are anyway, to be honest with you. Oh God, of course we get that. Of course we do. I'm going to take one more card. Okay. Can you see, if we're looking at this as if it was like a storyboard, can you see that this person, the Hermit, and this person on the Two of Wands, and this person on the Page of Pentacles are all looking the same way? They're looking out into the void. They're looking out into the distance. They're looking out into my tarot cupboard. Believe me, that, my friends, is the epitome of the abyss, okay? It's not a tarot cupboard, it is the abyss. So either way, it's definitely a time for what your parents might have called navel gazing, you know? Or what my mum called, she's such a practical northerner. And what are you doing? Disappearing up your own arse again? It's definitely a weekend for disappearing up your own arse, like psychologically, of course. So we have the Hermit gazing out this way. We've got the Two of Wands gazing out that way. And we've got the Page of Pentacles gazing out that way. And the two things we're staring at directly that are confronting us here are the Magician and the Moon. Okay. The Moon, we have a full moon in Pisces on the 10th of September alongside Mercury retrograde, which quite honestly, to me, it's a portal in itself of weirdness. And it would be very important for you to rock the weirdness between now and then. We've got mysteries and things coming up to the surface and surfacing and tides and all of that stuff. Possibly this is more prominent for Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio, or you could be dealing with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but mostly I think you're dealing with feelings and the mood of that, okay? The Magician is your ability to harness the magic and do something with it. And the Page of Pentacles just says, remember, just a small part of you, normally your feet, needs to stay on the ground, okay? Because we do live on terra firma. The Hermit is the epitome of some alone time, disappearing up your own arse time, as my mum would call it, looking into the lamp, okay? And the Two of Wands is that this actually ignites something that takes you beyond your mental horizons. Maybe not now, and probably when Mercury goes direct at the beginning of October, but don't ask for a timeline. It's not about that. It's about almost disappearing down the rabbit hole and finding a sense of acceptance while you're down there, as the actress said to the bishop. Okay, this reading is officially weird. I don't feel like it needs a recap particularly, but let's give it a little whirl. The remembrance and the oops, the accidental remembering, the memory box, the feeling of kaleidoscope, the feeling of going into that weird dualistic portal of Mercury retrograde. Finding a sense of peace and a sense of flow with it. There's a lot of water in this, there's a lot of acceptance in this. There's a lot of riding the weird energy in this. There's also the recall of people, literally and metaphorically. We have the Moon, which is just telling us weird stuff is surfacing. We've got the Hermit. We've got everybody staring into the abyss or staring into the nothingness. And then we've got the Magician saying you can harness this energy in some way. And you will all have your private and individual ways of doing that. And you can actualize it as above, so below. As below, so above. Okay? And then the Two of Wands telling us that this will come out into the world in some kind of wandy form, an energetic form of creating something, but not straight away. Okay? I don't know about you, but I'm having a lie down and a Twix just from that one reading. No wonder it took 4 goes to get that out, as the actress said to the bishop. Leave me a comment. Do come and join us on the Gem Stars. We'd love to have you, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.